Shalom, Achim Yekarim, and I hope you're going through an amazing tshuva process in the 10 days, these Yamim Noraim, the days of awe. And mainly speaking, I had previously spoken about Yitzhak Shapira, and how he is trying to corrupt Jewish souls and basically trying to attack rabbis that are doing Zikuy Rabin. And he is basically digging himself a huge plot in Gehinnom by doing it by his actions. Now this topic is a little bit controversial, and but it has to be said, and it is really something which is, very, very important for us. You see, you have people like Shapira, you have the Natsrut, you have the Brit Chadash, you have the New Testament, the Catholics, and everybody else as outside forces. But there is a force from within which is attacking the Jewish world and has taken it by storm for the last 50 or so years, which is the issue of shadels and wigs. Now I've been with the Chabad guys for a long time, and I know that it's a very important part for them, and so be it. I understand that they have certain rules why they want to cover their head in a particular way. And look, see, I'm not a female, I'm not a woman, but I can definitely testify one thing, that shaitels do not make women appear modest. In fact, they can have the opposite effect. As a man, I can tell that very, very, very certainly, that they do not always have the intended effect they're supposed for, okay? The next thing that I want to get and touch on is basically the ingredients that is used to make these shaitels, these wigs. Now, if you watch the videos of Rabbi Yaron Reuven, if you just do your own research, just read a little bit on all the rabbis that have ruled against shaitels, against wigs, and against the hair that is used to make these wigs, you will realize one thing: they're all more or less sourced from India. Now, as a person whose family is of Hindu background, a person who is from India, let me tell you a little bit about what happens, not just to people who donate their hair at temple, how significant the donation of hair is in the Hindu religion, or the Indian tradition as per se. Every year, millions of kids get their hair shorn, tonsured on the river, the holy river Ganges, and that is really done because the first 3 years of a child, a Hindu child, they're not supposed to cut their hair. It happened to me, by the way. My family did the same thing. You're not supposed to cut the hair of the child, and then at the third year, you completely tonsure the hair. It happened to me. It happened to my younger brother as well. It happens to millions of kids across India. It's mostly the males. They have similar rituals for the females, which I don't want to get into the details of. And let's say you're talking about 1 billion people. Let's say millions of kids are getting their hair shorn, right? Now, a good chunk of this goes obviously to the profits of the priests and other people who basically do the job of the shaving of the head. And I'm sure a good number of that hair goes towards wig companies. Everybody's got to make a profit. This is a country which is, where the average wage is less than $1 a day. So you're talking about a lot of people engaged in this, trying to make money off, this whole process, this whole venture, so as to say. And this is just one of the things. Now, the temple, which is actually situated in the southern part of India, which is called Tirumala, is known for the past hundreds of years as a temple, and it's actually the second richest entity. Some even say the richest entity in the world after the Vatican, because of all the hair that it gets from devotees who basically shave it off for the god or the goddess. Now, I don't know the details of this, but what I'm trying to tell you is how prevalent hair as a sacrifice, right, to the idols, or to the river gods, or to the cows, or whatever idols that is worshipped in this country. How important it is in the Hindu tradition, in the culture, to shave off and give your hair. And you will not find an example like this anywhere in the world. The 1 billion Chinese don't do this. whatever religions or traditions they follow. The millions of Indonesians don't do it. The Brazilians don't do, I mean, I'm just taking big countries. Africa, nobody donates their hair for this causes. This is the only country where voluntarily millions of people on a daily basis give their hair away. I mean, and if you have to be fool enough to believe that a good chunk of this hair does not go into making wigs, and you have to be really ignorant to not understand that that even the most kosher or so-called wig goes towards is sourced from a hair, one of these hairs from India. It has to be sourced from this. What is the other alternative? I mean, you just do not get the kind of hair, the quality. In fact, Indian hair is known for its natural silkiness and everything else because of the food that people eat here, the climate. I mean, for hair coming from so many young people. We're not talking about hair coming from old cancer patients or people who are in prison or in really bad conditions who are forced to get their. These are hairs coming from average everyday people, from the bottom classes of the society to the middle class to even the rich guys who involve themselves into it. And in fact, when it comes to the annual ritual for kids, you're talking about some very silky hair coming from the kids themselves. As I just explained it to you, this is just such a stupid thing that people who are advocating for shaitels, for wigs, to you just understand what they just do not understand what India is all about, and at the same time they just do not understand where it is being sourced from. And if they even know it, they are very much in denial. They are comfortably denying. They are basically in such a deep denial that they would twist halakha. They would just totally go against the teachings of the rabbis, the rulings of major poskim. They would do all that just to justify their own mess, their own messed up thought about what modesty is, what tzniut is, and they just don't understand. That is a very, very sad state in Eretz Israel for Am Israel, and people must wake up to this. This is just horrible, and really, I only wish luck that just pray to Hashem, Bezlat Hashem, that people wake up from this, okay? And really, I have no more words to say. The people just have to wake up, have to just basically burn their wigs, because they are serving Avodah Zarah. This is a very, very bad thing. It's a Chilul Hashem as well, because you're wearing Avodah Zarah and showing that you're modest. You're trying to show that you're modest. You are being extremely disrespectful to Hashem, the rabbis, the poskim, the laws of the Torah. Please, please, please change your mind. Do your research about this and understand that what needs to be done needs to be done. Wear your kisui roshes, kisui rosh, other forms of covering your head. You can even wear the Islamic hijab. There is no, there is no restriction on what you can do, but you need to keep your head covered with a particular item rather than wigs, okay, with a kosher item. Thank you, and Shavua Tov, and Shabbat Shalom, and really Tzom Kal, Gamar Chatima Tova for Yom Kippur, and please keep a very important fast, and keep me in your prayers. Thank you.